shit. Oh no.
I'll come back. It's fine. We're good.
Jesus.
I couldn't tell what fell because it went dark. All I heard was something fall and KP yelp.
Exclaim. Yeah.
I guess we'll do this now.
Start.
The following footage is certified PG. Pretty great.
It's Anomaly Presents with your friends, the Podcastronauts.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural. Perhaps. Baloney. Perhaps not.
Hi, everybody. It's Anomaly Presents. As I'm sure you've noticed, there was, if you caught right at the beginning, maybe my favorite start to any podcast we've ever done. I hit the start button, and then there was a loud crash, a yelp, and then KP's camera went completely dark. Luckily, we heard her laughing in the background, so it was okay. We knew KP was okay, but
it was exciting and terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
An auspicious start for an auspicious movie. I guess the theme of tonight is surprises, really, right? We'll start with that one. And then we'll start by saying, I know you're looking at your podcast app and you're looking at Anomaly Presents and you're seeing Dora and the Lost City of Gold and you're like, what happened? How did we get here? Because that was the reaction I got from most people when I said this was the next movie that we were doing for Anomaly Presents. And by the next time we get done here, I guarantee every single one of you listening is going to go running to your TVs to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So we'll start there. This has been multiple years in the making. So I'm going to introduce the Podcastronauts and then we'll get right to it. We'll start with Megan Murphy. Hi, Meg.
Hi, it's me. I'm Megan. I'm here. As always, try to get rid of me. Not this time, maybe next episode.
And Kristen Pelk Pacheco, who, in the grand tradition of the Power Rangers and many others before, brought us this Dead or Alive is another one on that list. It is this little package of cinematic gold. KP, enter, sign in, please, and tell us how you got to Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Hi, everybody. Well, let's see. I think I saw the trailer and was like, I must watch this because there was something there. And so Vanessa, Sky, and I all had the joy of going in this was 2019. It came out and we just laughed so hard we were crying in the movie theater. So I have been singing its praises ever since and telling people to enjoy it. And I haven't gotten any complaints yet. So I think it's a pleasant surprise. It's baby's first action adventure movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like for all the kids that grew up with Dora, right? And now they're ready. Like they're going to graduate, but now they're in like middle school. And they're ready to watch high schoolers both have like their first kiss, but also run around in a jungle and get threatened. But not in a horrible way, but like with a little bit of danger, but not too much danger. Just the right, toe dip.
Yes, yeah. A little bit of laughs, a little bit of scariness, some poop jokes in there, some fart jokes. It's a nice balance.
Something for everybody.
Yeah. I will say, so the director and the writers for this movie all worked on Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted. So I think it has that little bit of wacky balance between being funny, a little bit of action, and being enjoyable for adults. So
we were sold, I think, in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The opening to this movie is something that feels indescribable to me. Like, I can't imagine sitting in the theater and having this movie start the way this one does. Like, how did that go over for you? Because we can kind of talk about how that works. But what was your reaction when you saw the open?
So baby Dora, first of all, I saw myself reflected. I should post, maybe when we post about this, like the actual episode, I can send you a picture of baby me because I had the little haircut and my hair was straight. And thank God Dora did not exist when I was a child. But like, you're just like, oh, okay, they're kids. They're swinging around. Boots looks absolutely terrifying, which I know Megan wants to also discuss, which we should. The backpack
Yes.
is terrifying. You see
Yes.
Swiper. So you're hitting all the normal beats, right? And then we roll into them, Dora and her cousin gets, separated. Diego goes off to be a grown-up. And then we're like, okay, we get teenage. Oh no, how could I forget? She breaks the fourth wall when they're eating dinner and says, like, can you say delicioso?
Yeah.
And her parents are like, what? Which
That
best
is
performance by Michael Pena. We
Michael
needed more of
Pena.
him.
Yeah, MVP of this movie. I'll say that. But
I-
like, that's the
'Cause, like,
moment where I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is gonna be
Mhm.
phenomenal because just staring.
I think
Delicioso.
the beginning's
And-
messing with you because the beginning's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is how I thought it was gonna be, which is a real life version of the cartoon, which is disturbing and like doesn't work. And it's like it's too much, right? It's like, oh, they're running around, they're swinging, hey, and then they cut to the fact, oh, but this is all imagination. Dora and Diego are pretending to have these adventures. I mean, the monkey still exists, but
And it's still
it's not.
terrifying.
Yeah, but then the extended to like, okay, so Dora's having dinner with her parents, and then she starts doing those fourth wall cutaways like in the TV show. Like, can you say? And then you realize, oh, her parents see her doing this and are concerned about this. So we're in this like thing of okay, so in her head, that's really how she's experiencing the world is the cartoon. Not like it's not like it's animated in there, but like a cartoon sentiment. Like things talk to her, and she's talking to a screen, and then we kind of like pan out, and everyone else kind of around her. Like you see what other people experience around Dora, which is like nice kid, a little weird.
She'll grow out of it, and while she does grow out of breaking the fourth wall, she does not break out of being a little bit of a weirdo. So.
Well, she's alone in the jungle for 10 because they cut 10 years. Diego has gone off with his parents to the city.
Yep.
And she's still there. And like, I guess if you're kind of left alone just to wander the jungle talking to a monkey that you're pretty sure talks back to you. And like, you have slightly distracted scientist parents. I see like she's made her own world. Dora the Explorer is what lives in Dora's head as she's growing up. Which, as we get to, as KP said, when Dora inevitably must be sent away to go to the city, civilization, and all of a sudden we have a nice, like, kind of like a cultural misunderstanding because the rest of the world, especially high school, does not run on those rules. Turns out high schoolers not down with anything Dora is presenting to them.
Yeah. And her cousin is right. We see it immediately when they reunite, where she's very sentimental and genuine and a little out of touch. And so she's kept the candy bar that they split, and it is moldy and disgusting. And he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I probably ate it as soon as I left. And so you see him being like, okay, she's a little odd. Like, this isn't fun. He's not I don't think he's as excited to see her. He's just dreading it more than anything.
I mean, he's a high schooler. Like, he's a teenager. Yeah. Like, a lot of this is like, he's not a jerk. He's just, he's actually grown in the last 10 years, he's lived in like our world. And that's no fun, especially when you hit teenage. And when we go into high school, you can tell that he's had to like reform himself, right? To fit into this world. And he's had the decade to like, oh yeah, people don't like me talking about adventures and how cool is it a leopard?
Jaguar.
Leopards are Jaguar. Oh god. See, I was like, no one cares about how cool that is. So it's a nice spot to see how they've, depending on where they were like where they grew up.
Yeah, I laugh so hard when, she's got the headband on and she's so chipper and he just takes it off her head, tries to mess up her hair, kind of looks at her and is like, don't take it personally. High school is hell and I'm just trying to survive. So and she has no clue what she's in for.
Yeah, that's totally his character is high school is hell and I'm just trying to survive. Like, I've already been living this for a while.
Yes, and then she meets Sammy, right? Who is kind of our know-it-all queen of the high school, valedictorian. And Randy, who is the quiet nerd who keeps to himself and can hold his breath for 7 minutes underwater.
It's hilarious.
What a character building thing.
Yeah. he brings that up,
Because
and I'm
he
like,
did that
oh
on
man.
purpose to get attention.
Uh-huh.
Because he was like left at like the rec center, he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all this like, oh, I know about this adorable guy. He's a little bit of a weirdo who would do stuff like, I'll just pretend to drown on a regular basis, and that will get me a little attention. Yeah.
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 Yes. And
So
what
yeah,
else?
we get that.
Yeah.
And I think that sets it up like why like she might clash with someone who's probably a little threatened by her knowledge because she doesn't know enough that in high school you kind of either have to hide it or present it a certain way. She thinks
Yep.
everyone loves to learn and that's it.
She's
And
just
then you have
earnest.
that's it.
Oh.
The worst crime in high school. She's
And
earnest.
I was also earnest in high school.
Mhm.
One of my best friends that is not Vanessa had told me for years, I was like, just admit you didn't like me at first. And then finally I got them to, and they were like, because you were a goody two-shoes know-it-all. You'd raise your hand all the time. And I'm like, I'm literally trying to keep the class moving because the silence is killing me. That's anxiety, not...
Yeah, and I bet that's a fair chunk of our audience. I say knows it what it is to be like, oh, I'm not supposed to know stuff in school, and people will actually be upset with me for doing the thing I thought I was supposed to do. Yep.
And there's that little bit there where, Sammy corners her in the bathroom and is like threatens her, right? The most dangerous thing in the world is a wounded animal. And she's like, no, there's a lot of things more dangerous than a wounded animal. A healthy one.
No, Dora just is not going to pick up on certain subtleties because she's never had to be subtle. Yeah, she's never had to be subtle. So I do like that we do set up the fact that when she's going into school with her backpack, her handy dandy backpack, it is filled with because you got security because we were talking a modern day high school, a flare, an emergency generator, like just pulling out all this incredibly. And I think my favorite though is that he leaves the yo-yo and she's like, this the most deadly weapon I have, and I'm like, oh, this better be setting up something, and it is.
Yes.
This movie is filled with that. There's just breadcrumbs in the first act to come back in the third act, and it's so good. Like there's no stone unturned. It's great.
It's cute, and I appreciate that they kind of speed run in a good way. The whole she doesn't fit in here because you want to get to the point of like, but where's the adventure start? Just enough that you sets up. She's kind of awkward. There's a school dance. When it says "Come as your favorite star," she comes as the sun.
Yep.
She does
like, her dance. Nobody else wants to dance because they don't want to be vulnerable. And, and then it sets it up too for the tension, like with her cousin, like comes to a head, right?
Yeah. And there's a very wicked moment where, look, will he come on the dance floor? But no, in an unwicked moment, he doesn't. He is not going to save his cousin and risk his own neck.
No.
High school is dangerous and it's tough. So yeah, that moment too, where you're like, oh no, is he not going to ever hang? Like that's his cousin. That's family. It sets up just those little story character moments for each, which is perfect. Again, for kind of like not just a preteen audience, but I would say often a preteen audience. These are the kind of lessons that the movie teaches.
Yeah.
But of course, then we're like, okay, where's the adventure start? The museum. Of course, something like this has to start at the museum.
Yes, because the Egyptians have the oldest stuff, so they're given like a scavenger hunt, as you are, like the worksheet for school. And she gets paired up, right, with her cousin and Sammy and Randy. And
turns out the people she has trouble with. Wow.
Yes.
Y'all need to work faster. Find your partners, but they didn't.
Yes. Oh, and she also hasn't been hearing back from her parents for a couple of weeks. They had been radioing in their location. Right. She had been trying.
Because they're looking for the lost.
Yeah.
They're looking for the titular lost city of gold, a Parapata?
Pata. Yeah. Yep. Yes.
So like, okay. And I love that. I love it where like turns out like, oh, why would someone let her into this like basement? Turns out it was a trap all along.
So good.
Because there were mercenaries looking for the city of gold and they want to trap Dora, and these three others just ended up hiding in the wrong spot. They all ended up hiding in a crate. So
get gas and then wake up in another country. Like
right. Oops. Oh, that's what I saw. I was like, is that Tamora Morrison as one of the mercenaries? Yo, that's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess Django, then Boba, because I'm a nerd.
Well, and I should have said this in the beginning. I forgot. the movie actually starts with a little warning about how everything is true except that foxes don't swipe, and that voice is Benicio del Toro. So
Right?
Amazing.
I was like, I know this voice because he's also Swiper's voice.
yes,
And I was
and
like,
so yep,
I gave up trying to guess, and I don't think I ever would have gotten there. I was like, huh, okay.
yep, because he doesn't have like many lines, like they're short.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
And I
that's
think, wait,
like
this
the-
is where we
yeah.
see that Swiper exists in this world. Walks onto, because here's the thing, Dora's parents are very clear to her that Boots, her monkey friend, does not talk. He's a monkey. Don't dress him up like a people. People, like monkeys aren't people. They don't talk. And yet we are presented with mercenaries who are happily working with an animated bipedal fox that speaks at least English and Spanish, right? And that's never mentioned. Also wears a mask. That is
Which-
mentioned.
It is
That is
mentioned.
mentioned. But I was like, okay, movie. So in this world, this is totally fine. Boots, wild. Don't believe that. Swiper, yeah, that's just regular mercenary stuff.
Yeah,
of
that's
course,
fine.
Where else is he gonna find work? He's just good at swiping.
Yeah, he put the time in.
I kept cracking up because I thought, oh, is Dora just seeing somebody as a no, in this world,
he's
Swiper
real.
exists. He's
And
very
we get, and when they wake up and he's there and he goes to steal her backpack, we get a fun little action
chase.
sequence.
Yeah.
So she, almost gets cut up, get the slow motion like slide.
It's danger. I think they start adding. There is an element of danger. Like, they don't mind if something bad happens to these kids. Just enough. They're like, yeah, it's the jungle and they're mercenaries, which I like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Set that up, and then the friend of her parents, which I feel like if you're watching the movie, you're instantly like, what's up with this guy? Shows up and like rescues them. You're like,
Yes.
a bumbling professor that your parents never mentioned. Like, perhaps it is the person who's watched many movies, but I'm like, sure, pal. Every time you try to prove that you're like fumbling, I'm like,
Oh, every time you're like, nope, I don't trust you from the minute you showed up because there's no way that this girl doesn't know about you. But also, baby's first adventure movie, right? So
exactly. Kids gotta know not to trust anyone, and this movie probably taught some kids.
Yep.
Never trust a professor, kids.
Yeah.
You gotta see his credentials first, actually.
Yeah. Where do you teach again?
Yes. So he breaks them out, and they have a big like car chase, right? Kind of scene. They drive off.
They end up in the cornfield. Or whatever that vegetation was. I don't remember if it was.
It ran like a cornfield. But I'm like,
something.
Yeah. But I'm like, I just don't know enough. It's some sort of tall thing, and I love that. Like these high schoolers are like, "Hey, I'd love to go home."
Immediately, just
this has been great.
But
down for this. Yeah. Our dork is like, we're gonna die out here, like instantly in his head. He's like, this is it. I'm not meant for this world. I will die. He knows.
And even Sammy's just like, when they wake up and realize that they're on the airplane, it's like, we don't have our credentials. We need to get to the consulate. Like, girl, that's the least of your worries. Like,
to the consulate. I love that was her plan. I'm like, because that feels like the smart kid. I think my brain would have gone to. Listen, we just have to find, the American consul. We'll be fine.
Get to the embassy. It'll all work out.
Get to the embassy. But no, because now they're in the jungle. So now it's Dora is going to try to find her parents, because this professor's like, I've been trying, but I just can't figure out. But she's Dora, and she's good. She has no reason to suspect this complete stranger. So she's like, I can track my parents. I was like, oh, I know you can. That's the problem.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. I'm sorry, babe.
Yes. So now I get a little fuzzy on the order with which things happen. So they're traversing through the jungle.
Yeah. We almost, I believe, fairly soon is the dig a poop hole song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sammy needs to go to the bathroom. Yeah. She's sweating and hasn't pooped in 48 hours. And Dora clocks it immediately.
Oh, yeah. Because this is her world. And not only that, but of course, being Dora, she's like, well, songs often help. So
And she has
she's
the
going
poop
to
shovel. She has the
And the
poop
poop
shovel
shovel.
in her bag.
So she will take Sammy off to be like, no worry, I've got this, and sing a little song about digging a poo hole.
And you
But
need to be careful because of snakes. Like,
yeah, no,
Right.
exactly. Got to check in for snake. I'm like, that is a useful song. It's a little
yes.
tough for Sammy, I think, to process all of what's coming at her right now, including having to poop.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot going on there. But I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, this
The
is
things-
Dora's world, and they're all just walking through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things that got me there was Sammy's take when Dora pulls the shovel out of the backpack, because the shovel is clearly about 6 feet longer than her backpack is. So it's like a magician's handkerchiefs with this giant shovel.
Was there the whole time?
Yeah. And
I love it. Yeah.
after we watched this movie, my kid sang the poop hole song
Oh my god.
all
yes.
ding dang day.
Yes. That's why it exists.
Yep.
Sitting
Don't
there
worry.
playing Pokemon and just singing the poop hole song.
Well, now he has a bit of knowledge,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
I
Like
have no
you never
doubt.
know when that's gonna come in handy. And go, hey, actually, I know exactly what to do in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So I appreciate that. Let's see here.
That's the
Okay.
chase. Because
Oh yeah, then they get chased again.
Yeah,
While
she
Sammy's
gets-
taking the poop.
interrupted mid.
Oh, right, because they all run by her and she's just relaxed enough to
Yes.
maybe seal the deal. Because there's like little arrows being shot
Mhm.
at them.
Yep.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh no, this is real danger. Oh no. Which, understandable.
And then they get chased into the old woman's house, right?
Oh yes. Or did they get to the quicksand first?
No,
Oh,
I think
the
that
quicksand might be.
comes
No, I think the quicksand's
after.
before that, because she gives
it?
them something to drink because they're all a little wet and bedraggled.
Oh, right, yeah.
When they
It-
find out that quicksand's real.
Yeah.
There's the
So-
quicksand thing.
Which I love that they brought back quicksand because I haven't seen it in a while, and it was
Right?
a trope used a lot. I felt like when I was younger. So
Yeah,
very
it's a
happy to
classic.
see.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
love that it
making their
starts.
fart
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah. Oh, this is funny. It's making funny noises. Uh-oh.
And then they're scorpions, and they are
Oh.
dangerous.
Yes, the scorpions who are fighting. Oh, no, wait, they're not fighting on top of the professor's head. I guess at a certain point, it doesn't matter what those scorpions are doing on top of your head. You just want it to stop.
Yeah.
as he's sinking deeper and deeper into the quicksand, because he's the one person. Like, of course, Dora knew what to do. She's like, "You gotta spread out your weight. You got lean back and just kind of, because this is her world. This is her home.
Yep.
You listen to
So-
Dora, or you'll drown in quicksand with scorpions mating on your
mating?
head. Yeah, they're fighting. Oh no, they're not fighting. Like Dora
They're
is
not fighting.
explaining this in her narrative voice. Like, oh wait, they aren't fighting. They're mating.
Yes.
This is where I was kind of surprised they went for that joke, but very, very happy that that's the angle they took. I thought that was hilarious
Yep.
because it just
Middle schoolers, mating's funny. It's not a full on sex joke. It's just, oh, they're not fighting.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever scorpions do.
It's a
I
wink
couldn't tell
into
the difference.
camera, and yeah.
Yeah.
Who could?
Right.
I'd be concerned
but
if you were
then,
like, yeah, no, that's exactly what that looks like.
yeah.
Sure,
And
that's
everyone
fine.
do deep research on this all the time.
I have like 8 gigs of videos of that at home. It's great. What the hell?
And instantly, I am arrested and put in a spot. Okay, like, I guess people aren't ready for the truth.
No. You watch too much Planet Earth.
Okay, but
Okay,
then yeah,
they
that,
meet up with the old lady. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Offers
don't
to
they go
escort
through
them out.
Yeah. Do they go through the field
Yeah.
first? The flowers?
I think that's after.
Or is that after the house?
because that's when they separate, because
Right,
like
right.
like this kind of like lady
Sammy
is
and
like
Randy do not go through the
Yeah.
fields because they
First-
are.
yeah. Oh
they're,
yeah, well they're smart.
home.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No one was like, hey, like she speaks the ancient Incan that only Dora does, which they set that up that only Dora can understand this. But then like obviously he's giving him some warm to drink. But then also has these little stone figures that look exactly like each of these 5 characters. And then as they're looking at them, smashes them all with a rock, which, fair enough, sets them on edge. And yeah, Dora interprets that like she can either guide them to the temple or home. So of course, and this makes sense. Like our two not adventurers are like, I would love to go home. We've connected a little, but I don't want to die for someone I was embarrassed to be with 48 hours ago. Though we do have the moment where Diego's like, I'll go with you because I'm your cousin. So
that's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
I can't leave you alone. Like,
which is beautiful. Yeah. So that was like there's some character growth right there.
Yeah.
But that's when it's Sammy and oh god, I keep forgetting Randy's right. So they're following like the old lady, but before she's about to like kind of like she takes them to like this boat, they notice she has this tattoo on her arm, which is the exact same symbol that were on the little darts. And I believe Dora had at that point said that they were protectors of the city. So they're like, oh no. Maybe
we got a dip.
Yeah, we got a dip, and they run. And fair enough to go find Dora and Diego to tell them like, we don't know what this woman's what is she actually doing? You know, is she trying to help or hurt?
Yeah, I think it's Alejandro like jokes about because he makes up. He says later that he made up the protectors of the city.
Yeah.
So then they run off into the, I guess, kind of poppy field.
Yeah. Well, they're going behind it, and then we meet back up with like Dora and Diego and the professor, and they're these giant fleshy plants, and Dora's like, "We'll be fine, just don't touch them." So they have the scene where they're all just like limboing around them and stuff, and of course at the end the professor's like, "Yeah, we did it," and he puts his fists up and smacks one of the plants, and all these spores come out, but they're not deadly spores.
No, they take everyone on a nice trip.
Yeah, everyone becomes absolutely animated like the cartoon. Dora becomes Dora.
Yeah. And it's so funny because Diego's freaking out and it's just his head, right? Just their heads are the animated
at first. Yeah, because he feels it. And then the professor instantly takes off his clothes and runs. Animated professor takes off his clothes and runs
runs.
into the jungle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm like, okay, all right.
And
but that's when
animated version of Boots and all that, right?
Yep. Yeah, and they're like Diego's elated. He's like, hey, I want because he's kind of connected back with what he saw when he was a kid.
Yep.
But of course, there's a cliff to jump, and what has been established in the beginning is that Dora cannot make these cliff jumps. She tries to in the beginning of the film and doesn't, but I guess in cartoon form, you're feeling like, yeah, we could do it together. No, they can't. But thankfully their friends have caught up with them in their cartoon form and stopped them from whatever would have happened. I don't know if they would have woken up from the cartoon, what would have happened, but luckily it's with their friends and a covered but absolutely naked professor who is sure it was a dream.
Yes.
We're like, okay, our group's together, but now they've chosen to be there, which I think is another character moment. Like, yeah, they've decided that like they went to tell Dora and Diego, not just to run off, which I think was a pretty solid moment,
Yep.
Yeah. So we have here's the thing, because then they end up in the river.
Mm-hmm. And that's when
that's when they find
parents.
Yeah, right? But they come out in that perfect order. Yeah, because Dora comes out like, Mom, Dad, Diego, my friends. Oh, and that professor. The professor that you sent to rescue.
They do the aqueduct puzzle.
Oh, is that the one?
There's like the
that was before that. Okay, yes.
And then they come out of the water, so they
the
have
first jungle puzzle. We need to spend
jungle,
some time.
And of course,
we need to spend some
water puzzle.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah. So our adorable friend is very excited as they find this first part of because it's supposed to be an opera house that's broken down. Very Fitzcarraldo. I like that. They're like some English idiots came in here and tried to build an opera house.
Or the French. Or the Americans.
Or the Americans.
Like,
I was like, oh, thanks.
Colonizers.
I was like, movie, thank you for doing that. That was, But yeah, right, because it's like the first part of a jungle puzzle, and he's so excited because he's like, movies. You just take these levers, and it's fine. It's not fine. The chamber starts filling with water pretty quickly.
Yes. And I will say what's cool, too, is building off of what you said about Diego starting to connect back to like his excitement and youth is he knows what the aqueducts are called. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is exactly what this is.
Yeah, and then
And
is it a
so
sluice duck? Is that what he keeps saying? He said we need to
I-
find the like sluice. To the point where Sam is like,
Mhm.
stop saying that word.
Stop saying
And
sluice.
he's like, that's what it's called. I was paying attention that day in class. That was the time when you were wearing a lot of red and pinks. And
Yeah.
kind of let go that he's been paying attention there, which I thought was really another cute
That's
moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, he actually knows. He's like, hey, we got to find the thing that'll drain the room. And that's when I can hold my breath for 7 minutes comes into play. As at the last minute, of course. I mean, they're almost
Okay.
up to the ceiling because he gets down there and
Yep.
figures out this weird gear thing. But it's not just a gentle drain; it's an absolutely like they get sucked down
Flush.
into it. Yeah, they get flushed. It's a flush situation, right? And then they kind of splop out into that river. Yeah.
Yes. And then
There's
that's when
so
they
much
run into her
action.
parents. Yes.
Yeah, there's so much action. There's so much action. But yeah, it's great because it's the perfect, because I was like going, oh, her parents are here. So how are they? Oh, Dora comes out first. They know Dora. Dora, you found us. Diego, friends from school. And then Dora's like,
Mysterious professor.
yeah, well, then she's like that because he's not even visible yet. When she's like, oh yeah, and that professor, your friend that you never mentioned, but you
That
sent
has
to
your
like
journal.
right. And Michael Pena is just like, it was stolen a couple of days ago. And then of course Professor Asshole shows up and it's like, I was, you're a fool. I used you to track your parents and now we're going to find the gold. And also I'm in charge of the mercenaries. Dun, dun, dun. Right. It was like,
So now they're all tied
Gotta-
up and being led. Right.
Yeah. Cause he figures they'll know how to get the final steps there and also anything else that happens. He's going to use he's told them, just help me go get the gold and I'll set you free. So that's when they're all like, okay, so here's a little mercenary 101, which is really baby mistake on their part because the kids are all behind the last mercenary with their hands tied. Clearly because Boots shows up and starts untying I'm calling them kids, the teenagers. This movie's very clear that they're teenagers, is untying their hands. And then like the last mercenary keeps turning around and Boots is doing the whole, I'm just eating a banana. I'm just hanging out. And I'm like, yo, man, why is no one in the back? If I was running this operation, this wouldn't have happened, everybody.
No, not at all. And we forgot something very important to mention during the animation sequence, right? Is it the animation sequence where Boots talks? Or no, is it now?
No, it's
It's right after this. It's after Boots unties them and they run off.
Okay.
Because it's just him and Dora, because it can only be those two. Because he gets all the kids get their hands untied, but the guy finally sees that that some of the ropes missing. But I believe that's when Dora
Randy messed up and it falls.
Yeah, but Dora has her deadly yo-yo and kicks this dude's ass with a yo-yo. So he's unconscious and they have enough time to run away before anyone else notices. And this is one of my favorite little jokes is because it's whatever the Tamara Morrison's character, and I forget if he's talking to the professor, but anyway, he's like, what happened? And the guy's like, he got yo-yoed again.
Yes.
Again. So there's this little wait, what? Because this was nothing that was shown. In the movie, we do not see him getting yo-yoed. This is a thing that has happened before.
Or Viper.
Oh my God. Imagine that's your thing. These teenagers, ran away. Oh, and you got yo-yoed. But this is the thing where they run off and Dora and Boots get separated slightly. And then KP, tell us what happens.
He finally talks, and it's Danny Trejo.
Oh my God. That voice I recognized right away. And I'm
immediately.
Yes.
In the way I remember in the theater, Sky, Vanessa, and I losing it. Absolutely losing it. But he's basically giving her the motivational speech, right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards she's like, wow, you can talk. And then he says nothing.
The other teenagers show up and we've got a Michigan J Frog situation where Boots is just a monkey, a terrifyingly designed monkey. I don't know if I've said that before. I'll say it again. I don't like how they designed Boots. Boots makes me uncomfortable the entire movie.
Yes, he's supposed to be cute.
Yeah,
and
either he should look like a chimp, like a real chimpanzee, right? Or cartoon. Instead, I don't know what this is, and I don't like it. Yeah, I'm like, is this some sort of like creature that Dora's belief brought to life from an ancient Incan civilization? Like, is she in tune with some spirit? Is this like the secret horror origins? Because I'm like, I don't know, but I don't think that's a monkey. But the movie wants us to believe it is a monkey, so I will buy into it for now. But when I close my eyes to sleep tonight, all bets are off. Boots no! Boots no!
With Danny Trejo's voice.
Yeah, that would be comforting. That'd be the thing. I'd be like, oh, it's Danny Trejo. And then I'd look at Boots in his beady eyes and I'd want to run again.
It looks like the design of Sonic before they got bullied. It's
Yes.
the eyes. It
Yes.
needs to be like softer. I think if the eyes were like, if they did the eyes, it wouldn't have been as scary.
Yeah. God, the
And I say
glassiness is really-
unintentionally. The movie does not want us to be scared of Boots. I know this for a fact. They wanted us to love Boots. I wanted to love Boots, and then I opened my eyes again.
That was too hard.
But I love that she gets the pep talk. She gets the Boots pep talk.
She gets the pep tart.
The pep tart. But now they're like, okay, because this is when she realizes, because at first she's like, Boots, you shouldn't have done that. Like he said, he was just like, we just give him the gold, he's gonna let us all go. And this is like before Boots says anything, she's like, oh my God, they're gonna kill my parents. Like she has that adult realization in the middle of like, yeah, so they got it. They gotta go get her parents.
Yes.
You gotta save Michael Pena. Sorry.
Yes, of course.
This is very important to me.
Too good. He's too good. And there's so many moments where like it is so clearly that she is her father's daughter.
Yeah.
Where like he probably was very similar to her as a kid. Maybe not at that extreme, but well, you're saying something wrong, so I'm just gonna say what's accurate. But like I don't mean it in a malicious way. I'm just correcting you.
For sure.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
His little dubstep thing in the beginning when he's warning her.
This is the music in the city. Bow, bow, bow. And then
it's very loud.
I feel like that had to have been an ad lib. Like it just felt too pure to have ever been written on a page. Like that it came right from the head, you know?
Oh, he's so good. I need him in more things where he gets to be the main character. I was looking through his
side tangent. That's why like part of the reason I just can't make it through the third Ant-Man film. I'm like, where's Luis? He's the heart. He's the one who ends up running the business. When he's summing up what happens, that's what I'm most interested. You know, my favorite dramatic points in the second film are when he's like, we can't afford Entenmann's. You know, he's just trying to run this business. He has no, like, that's great. Scott, you're having these adventures. We're ex-cons and we're just trying to move through this world. Like I'm trying to keep the business you started running after you ran away to the Avengers. I was like, that's the energy. I wanted more of that. Like, how do you function as like a human in this world?
Yes.
So I was like, oh no, they're going into this like weird MODOK face epicness. No, I want Michael Pena talking about that rosé that saved the day.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Please.
Like, God. Marvel ripped my heart out there. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did we talk about Michael Pena's rave scene?
We're just talking about the music.
Yeah.
Yes, the music.
Okay,
the music. Like I can do it no justice. It is just this is like I'm like, no, he's right though. The noises he's making is that music. I can't make this noise, but I know exactly what he's communicating to his daughter. Like he thinks this is incredibly important information to tell her before she's her first into the city. He's like, this is the most important thing you have to know. The dangers of the city. Music's loud. It sounds like this.
And it went on for so long. It was
And she, you know, Eva Longoria is kind of dancing along, but she is also making the concerned face, like I've been trapped with these two. Like,
I appreciate that you can see how the relationship works. I mean, you can tell when she's like, enough, honey, but I'm like, but they're both adventurers, and I think she's. In fact, I would argue that I can see some of her mom in Dora too, because if she dates this kid, if she dates that, I'm like, oh my God, she's falling. Like, she's got the same taste in men that her mom does. She loves some sweet dorks.
She seems like just like it's oblivious to her, is how I
Yeah.
read it. Like
That could
it's
be.
at least at this point, it's a one-sided crush because she just
Yeah.
doesn't know enough.
We'll see if she opens the door or not.
Yeah, it's all on her, and I was like, but yes, 100%.
Yeah.
She would be the more grounded one over him. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that means for their future. But you know what? It's gonna be more like jungle puzzles.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I
Yes.
think leads us because now they
Yeah.
are heading into the actual city,
Yes. And then
right?
there's
Where
a
we
couple
get the
different
most
puzzles,
Indiana
right?
Jonesy, Tomb
Yeah, this is
Raidery
where
stuff.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
this
there's
is where
that
it gets
series
really
because
into
the kids are like they're going to this city. So if we get in there first at night, and we can be the first plan is trade the gold for the parents. So that's why we have our group of 4 go to the temple and they solve this series of puzzles, including classics like which of these levers do we switch? And it involves constellations, but only stones that are reflective by a moon. And you have to know what those constellations, because they're ancient Incan constellations. And then there's sculptures and which one matches up, and they all have to pull the lever together. Look, teamwork.
Yes.
There's that. There's the reflective, like we have to reflect the
mirrors.
light. But,
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, I was like, oh no, yes. And they each have to reflect each one, and then the last one will great stuff. Again,
It's
classic
fun.
jungle puzzles. Now I have a
Yes.
word to describe this. Oh yeah, jungle puzzle. It's often in a temple.
Yeah, it's very like everyone was like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. I was like, I have played these video games and I know exactly how to solve these.
I'm like, be careful, because I've seen Legends of the Hidden Temple, and if you don't put that thing together quick enough, a dude's gonna come out and grab you. What? I don't even think I was that young watching it. I said, that is the most terrifying thing I can ever think of. And they let that happen to kids on TV. Those kids are already full of adrenaline, running around, jumping in like foam rocks, trying to do puzzles, and just knowing that at any moment, one of these grown ass adults could just snatch you.
Yeah, like, and they were dressed up.
Yeah.
Just popping out of walls. Like,
It's like, I would love to have a visit to those like adults. Do you sleep well? Do you still every once in a while go into a room and go, this is, because if it happened once, it can happen again.
Just every closet and open door they walk by.
Doing the Flynn Lockwood karate hands, just ready. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm ready. To the death. But like, I think this is where it becomes the most like Indiana Jones video gamey. And the movie it knows it. It's literally saying, these are jungle puzzles. This is movie stuff. Have fun. Especially for like, young kids where this is their first adventure-y. But I like that this is exploring. They keep bringing back the idea that they're not treasure hunters. They're explorers. And they bring in a little bit of like, fuck colonizers. And they I like that this is like, it is a movie that also is like, but we're not here to steal shit.
Yep.
Just nothing heavy, but just enough to go like, hey, all those other references, but also for knowledge and respect, not take all the stuff. In fact, that's what becomes important with our final puzzle.
Yes.
Because, of course, they get to the final thing. Well, actually, no, there's the one I really like, because it's Diego figures it out. Mm-hmm. Is when it has this, like, they're in a corridor that all of a sudden tilts down and it looks like it's heading towards these spikes. Yeah. And he's like, it's an illusion. We just gotta trust and jump. And this time it's a version of the cliff jump that does not end with anyone falling, because he's right. It's just the forced perspective, which is, it reminds me a lot of Last Crusade and the whole like invisible bridge situation where you have to have a moment of faith. Like, if you've solved the puzzle, that'll be enough. Love that stuff, because they all have to jump together. The kids, these teenagers, they're a group now.
They have their big hug, and I will say, like, as it progresses, right, each one of them gets one or more instances to shine, and like, they get more excited about knowing things or figuring it out.
Sammy figures out she figures out, it's the golden mean if we do it at a certain angle. Exactly. Because I'm like, no, she's a nerd and she would know that. That's know-it-all knowledge, and I appreciate that. Like, I get it. Yeah, but you're right. In this, everyone is solving it, not just Dora, which is like, cool. So then they end up in that final room and they see the treasure, And of course, the professor guy shows up because he's like, I was following you the whole time. And the
Psych.
whole fight, and the whole thing is like, of course, Dora is able to read this. It's like a
Quechua.
knotted language, which I thought was really cool. And it's like basically you have to solve it by giving an offering to this like I think it's a monkey statue. It looks very
Yeah.
monkey-ish and gold. You have to
Yep.
give it an offering in its hands of what matters the most, what was most available to the Incans. And of course, Professor Dumbass is like, well, listen, they built a whole city of gold, so it's got to be gold. And he's kind of like gone up onto the altar as our teenagers have kind of gone separate behind, just away from him, right? And of course, Dora gets that cool ass moment where she's like, I knew you were following me. In fact, I counted on it because that's why we're here and you're up there. Because as he takes his gold coin and he puts it on like this in the statue's hand.
She's like, I know that there are severe consequences for failing this trial.
Yes. Yeah, I love that Dora knows that and sets him up.
Yes, and at this point too, right, we've seen her start to recognize like people's malintent, right?
Yeah.
And now she gets to the point where she can have the foresight to be like, oh, I picked up that you were going to show up and that
you were going to kill my
selfish.
parents. So
yes. And then the floor starts falling from underneath him, and there is a fiery pit below him, and he's hanging on.
He's like, I'm still alive in a very
Like
oh god, exactly, it was Austin Powers. But he's just hanging on, and then
the protectors show up looking so badass.
The protectors, and yes, of course, that old woman is their leader, and they have her parents. But also, she can't just be an old. I was like, you know what? I understand where she kind of turns into this like kind of Incan goddess situation. But I'm like, why can't she just be an old woman? I'm getting older. Why can't it just be? But that's just me going like, why does she got to be this young lady now? Fine, it's magic. It's fine. I didn't take it personal.
Cheekbones for days, though. I will say.
Oh God, right? I'm like, well cast, very very goddess energies.
Yes,
and. It's basically like the protectors are like, well, I'm just gonna take you all out of here, even though Dora's like, we're not with him.
We don't know that man.
Yeah, but because Dora's the only one who can speak the language, she basically says, we're not treasure hunters, we're explorers.
We're not gonna take anything.
So
chance to
right. So I love this. She's like, okay, then you go up there and you give like what the Incans value the most. Like basically you solve the puzzle. If this isn't so now it's all on Dora.
Oh yeah, because the guards have scooped up Alejandro. So they took him out of the hole. And
the movie doesn't have the professor burned to death.
Which is funny because like as kids, if we were watching this movie, he would have burned to death. Like without a doubt.
We
may not have seen him. Like, but you would have heard him, and he would have died.
Yeah, so. I appreciate the humanness of this film, which is like, I guess we can't have our protagonist happy that this man burned to death. Yeah. But it's worked out because then you have Dora at the end, like because of all this knowledge that she has and the stuff that her parents has taught her and all that. She realizes that there's this fountain up there with a little bowl, and she scoops up a little water and she puts water in the little monkey's paws, and his little paws go. Like it's drinking the water, and that's the solution. Yeah, and then these doors open. Yeah,
they get to see, and all of them get to look at the giant monkey. But
in fact, and we don't see it at first. I think we get a glimpse later when things are falling. But I thought that was an interesting choice where our characters get to look out, and they said, "Yeah, it's a giant golden monkey statue,"
or like it's beautiful. It's like inspiring, like. And Diego's looking at Sammy because he's like, wow.
Yeah, he looks at her I was like, oh, buddy. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I mean, I guess also the City of Gold, but hey. I'm like, oh, he's got it bad.
Yeah.
He's got it bad.
And then Swiper shows up at the last moment and steals the golden monkey statue, which then results in everything crumbling down. Because what's her name?
Turns out bad choice.
Yes, the gods are unhappy.
Yeah.
The gods are unhappy, so everyone else has to hightail it out of there. And Alejandro gets dragged inside with.
Yeah, he's gonna stay with the protectors now for a while.
Yeah, we don't even know what happens to him. Probably
No.
nothing good. So
Now, the last time we see him is him eating a bowl of bugs, and they say something about like enjoy the next 1,000 years. So who knows what's going on? He has time to learn a lesson, or 50.
just suffer.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Yes.
probably the same scorpions that made it on your head. Now
Right.
eat them. That seems weird. Yeah. But yeah, they all escape, but Dora is able to recover the statue, the golden monkey statue, and return it. She, at danger to herself, she goes back in because by putting it back on this plinth, it saves the city and it kind of reconstitutes itself to the point of like closing its doors again and reknitting the vines that covered it. So now it is where it was before, kind of like protected.
Untouched.
is-
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which then goes back to like they just wanted to see it, right? It was never
Yeah,
about taking
yeah.
anything, and reinforces that, right?
Yeah. Which is a nice like little like code. Like, yeah, this is like they kept their word because they weren't there for the gold. In fact, at no point is the movie like, oh my god, our family
Wrestling
is
with
gonna
that
lose
morality.
yeah, right? Like it was never like, oh, we need a bunch of money to do a thing. No. They
Never.
were just which I'm like, I like that because it's not even like that's just it can focus on like what the parents said, which is they just are nerds that like to know stuff.
Yep. And
Which we can all understand.
Yep. So Diego and Sammy kiss, right? And we get our
Yes, we get it. We get a kiss.
and
then Dora's looking at him again, so they stop kissing.
Yeah.
And then they make
Yes.
it back to Dora's family place where all the parents. Do you think who do you think paid for the plane tickets? For all of the families to show up and gather their kidnapped children. I'm just wondering.
It must be so expensive to not only
Right?
just fly there, but to get
to
to where they are.
Right.
Yes, it is not easily accessible. They've made that very clear. The movie doesn't want us to think about it, but I
say,
did.
this is
just
all,
a
yeah,
little.
we can't. Yeah, this is a kids movie. They just got there. Mom and dad can always
Yeah.
get there. Forget it. It's
And
fine.
maybe Dora's parents are like filthy, insanely rich.
That would
It
make
could be.
sense. They don't,
It
yeah.
could be.
Yeah. But
And
then
what?
they have that cute moment where
Oh,
in the
so
background all the
precious.
family are have the table, but it's Dora and her mom and dad, and they're all like, "Hey, so we're just gonna go off into the jungle again in a bit, but this time you can come with us, you know?" And she's like, "Oh, but you know what? I haven't fully solved high school. I want to study that." You know, she's growing up, and the best moment is so she leaves, and then they both break down sobbing. They're like, she's growing up. I'm so proud, but you can tell they are devastated.
Destroyed. Just they miss her so much.
It was perfect. I'm like, no, this is them. They're trying to be the parents, but they would love for their daughter to be there. But she, as she said, she's got to go do high school and she's got to go do another dance. And this
Yes.
movie ends with a Disney Channel style musical dance number, which I was not expecting.
No. And I think it brings it back home to being like, yep, it's for children, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I appreciate movies that end with unexpected dance numbers.
yeah. And I liked
Yeah.
it too. What? I think back to that, like, explorer versus treasure hunting thing, which I think a lot of adventure media is exploring more often. Because, like, if you think of the Tomb Raider, at least the video game reboot,
Yeah.
by like the second, third game, they're like, Laura, you have to stop doing this shit because you're causing so many problems.
Yeah.
And then with Uncharted, like, I like those games, but Lost Legacy is like one of my favorites, and that's whole you follow the character who was a thief. That's her whole thing, and her going back, like going to India to try to get this thing, and then learning like, oh, it's about this country and these people and not stealing things.
Yeah.
And like that's the arc of the story. Like
it's been interesting to see that story shift through like, you know, I mean, obviously before Indiana Jones, there were adventure tales because that's a reference to like pulp ones. But if we start with Indiana Jones, he's like, it belongs in a museum. He's not returning it to the people. He's taking it and going where he thinks it's supposed to be. So we start with that. And over the decades, like, hey, but maybe like Britain should return those Elgin marbles to Greece, right? They just straight out stole those fuckers. They carved them off a temple and have them somewhere they don't belong. But like, I like seeing that in like, you can still have like an adventure movie, but it's more about what if we're exploring that culture, not just grabbing shit from somebody else and putting it in a museum, or more likely, in some rich weirdo's drawing room, which will then be used to murder someone. See, that's how they get to murder mysteries, is you take the cursed item, and it's only cursed because you took it. Yeah. And then all the rich weirdos murder each other because they want the money. Boom.
Yes. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that's the natural progression. Hey, leave the stuff you find where it belongs, okay?
Yeah. I'm curious. There's an Indiana Jones video game that's supposed to come out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it has come out yet.
I think it had. I've heard good reviews, but beyond that, I don't.
Yeah, I'd be curious, like, if they pivot, right? Like, if the story, if they're like, oh, but I mean, not saying they have to, right? Because I think
I wonder if that's why they want aliens at a certain point. Like, hey, you know what we can't have him doing? Taking stuff.
Which, whatever. Or you could have a way, like, where you reckon with it. Because even between, like, literally those Tomb Raider movies, like, Laura is just punished for doing that consistently. And then you have, like, Dora, where it's like, she is, they don't say that she's Peruvian. They still do the ambiguous, like, Latina thing, which, whatever. But, I mean, the actress is Peruvian. It's like, okay, so you have people from the culture studying the culture, and that's one thing. And it's the same thing with Uncharted Lost Legacy. She is like East Indian, and so she goes to India and then gets to explore that part of her culture. And so it's,
I like that.
It's a different story to tell, where it's like you personally studying your country's history as opposed to somebody coming in to steal the things.
Take the stuff. Yeah. No, I like that. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm sure we could go way deep into that, because this is a big genre.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean you still have a good time. I just
but here's the thing: you can enjoy something and also go, I wouldn't make it that way today. I don't have to throw it out, but like, Professor Jones, can you get your shit together? I hear part of me feels like I know Temple of Doom, Spielberg's going through a divorce. If you know that information, if you know Spielberg was going through a divorce while he was making Temple of Doom, all of a sudden it recontextualizes a lot of things. I'm like, oh my God, this is about nothing but his divorce.
Yeah.
It's dressed up like an action film, but I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, I just go, oh, buddy, you need a therapy. You didn't need to go. You didn't need like
spend millions of dollars.
Yeah, you didn't need like child slaves and hearts being ripped out. Like that's somebody, like, leave someone's culture like out of your weird mental stuff. But like, that's always my favorite thing to bring up, because I'm like, yeah, it's a divorce movie.
Yeah, 100%.
All of that, eating monkey's brains, divorce. Yeah, right.
It's the two of them just dealing with their own personal.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, there's parts I like, but parts I'm like, Jesus, Steven.
Yeah, we could have left some of that out.
It feels like it was less egregious in the first film.
Yeah,
second's rough.
So the budget for this movie, because I was going to say this, I was thinking about this. Like, I like the set designs. I was like, it's not crazy. I think they just keep things like tight, right? Like, so we go from location to location, and it's not like very, very big, right? And it only cost $49 million. That's it.
I mean, it looks good.
It looks great.
Yeah, there was a lot of good like sets, like you have the temple, and you have like the giant plants, and you have just their home, which is like, I thought really, I was like, oh damn, if it wasn't for mosquitoes, that would be. I was like, sleeping outside by the river. Oh, I'm an adult.
And like, but like, puzzles look good. Like, everything looks okay. It doesn't look like you'd walk up and like break. It doesn't look like Legends of the Hidden Temple. Right?
I could hear the stones. I felt that they were old and heavy.
It feels like a real adventure movie. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no cheesiness to it, at least look wise. Yeah. It's all intentional, whatever the cheesiness is. Let me put it that way.
Oh yeah, this movie's in control the entire time. Anything that's funny is supposed to be funny, which is great. And it does have that little bit of like a little for the parents.
And they probably did not have to spend a lot of money on people. Like, right, if you think about it, whoever your leads are all.
I mean, as we said, Michael Pena, priceless. Pay the man 100%. More. But, half the budget should have been for him. Am I
Yeah.
biased? Do I feel like every time I'm like, yeah, but like, is Michael Pena in this enough? Because the answer is always no.
No.
Especially comedic. I know he can draw drama. I'm aware of the fact he's an amazing actor, but I just feel like, yeah, but like let the man loose. Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
He is so good comedically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even Longoria too. Like I was surprised because I don't
Yes.
usually
Right?
think of her as being funny.
She seemed relaxed.
Well, because you
and
got
like
Desperate
comfortable. Yeah.
Housewives. So, and
Right.
I feel like
Oh.
it's similar vein of like,
Serious but fun. Like you have to do it with a straight face.
because she is funny in that.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
will say, like, it's been a long time since I've watched it. I don't know if I could get through it, but
I did it once. I'm done. I can't
I
again.
don't even think I watched it completely. I think, it's one of those things it's on, you
It's
catch
on.
We were
it, and
soaking
you're like,
in the
okay, it's
culture.
fun.
Yeah.
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 And you're like,
Yeah.
I just need a little soapy nonsense. And she's
Right.
great at that. And so, like, I think she's able to hit those beats.
Yeah.
Like, in that
Yeah,
way.
you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I will say, the rest of the kids have not been in much.
Yeah.
Our buddy Randy, I did love. He's in the Wilds, which curse
Oh, I
you,
haven't seen-
Amazon, for canceling like the nice teen queer shows you have between the Wilds and Paper Girls. I got beef. I mean, I have beef for
Yeah.
other reasons, but the fact that you canceled the Wilds and Paper Girls pisses
I
me
didn't even
off.
get to start
And
watching
no,
Paper Girls. It was on my list, like I'll get around, and now I'm like,
I'd still recommend watching that first season because they do a really good job. And then you can, you can read the comic and it's great.
The comic is
So,
wonderful. It's
yes.
really good.
yeah,
Yes. And
Amazon, finish what you start.
well, it was that
Amazon.
whole thing where like Amazon, Netflix, and like Hulu
Right.
were canceling all of their queer shows
Is
except
that
for
about
for what? Is
now
what?
I complete baseball.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
A League of Their
League of
Own.
Their Own.
That's it. I was like, the base. Yeah.
Yes. So there was that whole
Nope.
stretch where it's like they were just canceling everything, but what's the one? Heartstopper, which no beef with that. Let the kid, please. I'm glad
Right.
something made it out, but like
It's like
anything
Amazon,
that wasn't
yeah.
that was getting canceled.
Listen, I just feel like Target right now. I'm like, listen, all I have when I'm upset is the list I keep in my head, and you're not going to go off that list when the inevitable, like, oh no, we love your money again. It's not. You've already made the list. Amazon, you made the list by the action. Like, you could come back when you think it's safe again, but like, I don't have a lot of money, so I get real careful where I'm spending it, and I get
Right.
spiteful about it.
Yes.
Right here, it's up here. The list.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Same.
yeah. I'll buy something somewhere else. I'll just watch stuff that already exists on YouTube if I have
Oh,
to.
same.
There you go.
I got Internet Archive.
I'll go to the
I was going to say
library.
archive.org.
Yeah. You think I won't? You don't think I just live that anyway?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch new stuff, and you're making it easier for me not to.
Yeah.
The only time I watch new stuff, Anomaly, the Russia Genre Film Festival.
Oh
Wow.
yes.
What a segue. That was very
Oh.
professional.
Did I make you proud?
Yeah. Megan, what are those dates?
Oh,
The
is
5th
it the
through
5th through 9th?
You got it.
What time?
Hey.
I wish I had said that with more confidence.
I was right there behind you just to make sure we could tap it in. It was fine. So November 5th through the 9th at the Little, one day at the Dried-In, because we are their friends now, and that's really a fun thing to say.
Yeah, everyone be cool. Be cool at the Dried-In. We don't want to lose this connection. Everybody,
No.
best behavior.
AnomalyFilmFest.com. Cheer for the curtain.
Yes.
It takes way longer to go up than you think. I'm going to tell you that
Yeah.
now. It's something
Take-
that has
take
been
turns.
ingrained in me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take turns.
Yes.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. You'll just have hamburger at the end of your wrists if you go for the whole time. So you got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's coming soon. AnomalyFilmFest.com. We are nose deep in watching programming to figure out what the best of the best is going to be to put up on those hallowed screens in November. There's some goodies in there. There are some real goodies, and I'm so excited to show them to you. I know we all are. It's going to be fantastic.
Yay. And perhaps you might meet a Baba Yaga. I don't want to give away too much.
There's
Oh yeah.
as interesting as the films we're going to put up on the screen. Surprisingly, we're kind of privy to some of the stuff that happens throughout the theater right now in the planning stages, and oh boy, it's going to be a treat this year.
Y'all,
Yes.
y'all, it's going to be, you're going to walk into a whole new world. And you
So-
might Return. Well,
Yeah. So
no, you'll return. Don't worry about it. Please buy
No, you'll-
tickets. We'll
you'll
take
come
good care
back.
of you. Don't
You'll
worry
come
about
back.
it.
It's the Anomaly guarantee.
It's
And
not a guarantee. You'll come back.
That's what I want to say to everybody who comes to Anomaly every year. We love you so much. Please keep coming. But do us a favor. You have that friend that you've been telling them about Anomaly for all these years? Bring them.
Yeah,
Bring them.
You can lie to them. Once they get through the doors, they're ours. Don't worry about it. Do whatever you do. They have to be
We'll
like,
do the
hey,
rest.
they're giving away free cake.
Yes.
We give
Yeah.
away stuff all the time. There's cool
Yeah, we do,
movies.
though.
There's all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. It is a singular experience in Rochester. Bring your friends and come check it out.
Yeah.
Again, it's November 5th through the 9th. AnomalyFilmFest.com. Anomaly Film Fest
Yay.
on all these social medias. Megan does an incredible job day in and day out, making sure the social media contents are piping hot and fresh for you.
I do my best. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless
So-
there's a post you don't like, then that was not me. Only 98% of the posts are me. Every once in a while, someone else has access, and I just want to have plausible deniability
That's right. That's right.
for legal purposes.
Yes.
It's that 10th member of Anomaly that we don't talk about. What?
We're
know
ready. I love this.
that one?
The potato? The potato?
Oh no!
So-
no, the potato. We hear from the potato all the time. Potatoes
The-
next to me.
the
everybody.
11th
Potatoes in
secret
the room
member.
right now with me.
Yeah.
They're in their bag, just being cool about it for now.
Hibernating.
Can
Yeah,
you just learn to
It's okay.
keep-
I take them out and I flip them every once in a while, so
Okay.
he's not just on their head the whole time.
Yeah, as long as you're rotatoring, it's good.
Yeah. Sometimes just take them out of the bag, let them air out.
Yeah.
Gotta take that tater out the bag.
That's right.
That's what they say.
And then I try dressing it up. It's fine. It's a good day
Yeah.
for me.
Sour cream, chives, dress it up.
Yeah, get out of my mind. I was like, yeah, dressing the potato.
All
It-
dressed.
it's cool. Oh my god, I have to live with them. They don't
Oh.
mean it.
We love you anyway. So thanks for coming tonight. It's been a wild one.
you.
We will talk to you again soon, or see you at the movies, or both.
Yeah.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm gonna hit this button and hopefully it works this time. Remember last week when it didn't work?
Dora Puppet.
This has been
Yay!
a presentation of the Lunchroom Podcast Network.
Oh, she's dancing to the music. Yes.